All right, so as you can see, I've got some green tape where the actual old tubing connects to. And the first one is this one here. So this one connect right in here by the intake. And if you can see, it's got that little knob right there. So you just basically push that in and it pops this right out. Then the next one is, I believe this was a 10mm bolt right here. And we just undid it. And then that comes apart. And then if we move over this way, we've got a fitting like that one that goes inserted in here. And then the one that's snapped off that is inserted in here. And same deal applies. So if you could see here, you just pull this over and they come right off. So after if you've got the 1, 2, 3, and 4 disconnected, this whole piece just comes right off. So that's kind of where we are now. Let's continue with the video. Now we're going to get into the install of ZZP's catch can. All right, now in the box ZZP sends us, we have a few things. We have number 1, we have the parts list, which shows you that everyone kind of checked off from ZZP to make sure all the parts were there before they sent it out. Looks like it was packaged by this person, verified by this person, and then they give you a date, which is gives you a good peace of mind that you know that they actually spent the time to look to make sure all the parts were there before they mailed it out to you. And then you've got your install instructions, which is kind of, I'm going to do the hands-on part of it so you guys can kind of see how to do it hands-on versus just reading it. Otherwise, I did kind of skim through that and it looks super easy to do. Install time says about 20 minutes, so we'll see, you know, if all goes well, if it does take about that amount of time. And then we have these fuel line tools here that ZZP provides, which is really nice as well. And we got all the parts here. So it looks like some clamps and looks like a hose. You have your pipes here, which we're going to replace. So you have one straight one. You've got one that's got just a small turn on there, and then you got one that's got 3 different entries in there. And then of course you've got the catch can. And now the catch can, it looks awesome. I mean, it's the first time I've ever had a catch can, but it feels like a good quality catch can. It is baffled, and it's got a little stick right here, a dipstick, where you can check the oil levels of it, so you can kind of pull this out and get a feel as far as how full this thing is. So that's really nice. Now that we got the parts and everything out of the box, we're going to go ahead and start with the install. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back towards this bracket here. There's a 10mm bolt that needs to come out, which is that one there. That's what we're going to start with. All right, next step is we're going to take the assembled catch can here. We're going to take this bolt there, and we're going to go ahead and install it. All right, so we have the catch can here already aligned. It's loose, I just kind of put it in there, but basically the bolt we removed, we're putting it right back into the same place. All right, and as weird as it's gonna look, I actually found it a little difficult to put this bottom bolt going in that way with the nut from behind. I just felt like couldn't really get a good grip, and I felt like it might have fell down on me. So what I did is I put the bolt from the back coming out this way and put the nut in this way. So I'm gonna try and tighten that up and continue the process. All right, so what I did before installing anything is I just kind of put everything together, just because I don't want to lose any parts. So I'm gonna kind of quickly show you guys what I put together with what. So the straight hose here, that one is gonna get one of the bigger clamps. So you have, of the 4 clamps, 2 larger ones, 2 smaller ones. This one is gonna get one of the bigger clamps, and just keep in mind the clamp's gonna go over by the P. And then this one is gonna get this tool here, or this fitting I should say, and these are really tough to really put in there. So what I did was, if you look in here, there's 2 separate tools. So if you click these 2 together, this comes straight out. I pulled that out as I was putting this into the hose just so that I don't break it, because I was using so much pressure. I thought I was gonna snap it or something, so I took it off just to be on the safe side. This twist it clockwise into the hose and push in at the same time, and that'll really help get it in there. So what I did is I kind of put like this part of my finger, I wrapped it around like here and got a good grip, and that really helped me twist it in there. So I did that for the straight hose, and then I went over to the smaller one, the thinner one that's got the little 90-degree angle here. On this one, you're going to want to grab one of the smaller clamps, and again, it goes over by the P on ZZP. And then you have the other smaller fitting that goes here. This one there, it doesn't look like there's nothing sticking out of it, so that's how you put that one together. And then the one that has the 3 ends is going to get the other of the 2 big clamps on the thicker side and the smaller clamp in the middle, and then the last fitting with the blue in this one. This one was a little easier to put in here, and again, you want to just twist and push in. Same with this. This was the easiest of the 3, maybe because it's a smaller one, but that one went right in. This one, if you can see, I have a little bit left in there, and same on that one, just a little bit in there, just to push it in the rest of the way. But so I have all 3 together. Now the only part I have left is going to be this little aluminum or metal piping or whatever left, and that takes care of everything, all of the pieces that were in this bag here. So now I have nothing laying around other than the hose themselves. Don't forget to put this back into the straight one here, and then we're gonna go back to the car and see if we can remove that the fuel line. All right, yeah, so what was supposed to be a 20-minute job turned into a lot longer. And again, this could be my fault, but just because I can't remove this thing out of here, even with the tools that ZZP supplied, I have my own fuel line disconnect line or tool too, and this gap is just way too small for me to fit anything in there. So I'm gonna hang tight on that and skip that step for now, and we're just gonna continue and install one of the hoses, which is gonna be the straight one here. So the side with the clamp is gonna go into the catch can that says in, and then this fitting is gonna go, and it's gonna get attached right there to that intake tube. So if we look at the catch can, this fitting here actually you can remove it by turning it. Oh, I can't do it by fingers, but if you turn it counterclockwise, it'll actually come out. So it is a separate piece of its own. So when we're gonna install this, when we put it in there, we're gonna twist it this way, so it actually grips to the tightness of that that fitting there. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so that side is all tight. Now we're gonna go ahead and plug this in here. And there we go. So it's really tight in there, and that's good to go. That's the first one. Because basically what we're gonna have to do is remove this whole line here. And this fitting is gonna go in here, and the fitting from here is gonna get attached to here. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach it to the fitting over on this side and kind of just leave it loose. I did tighten the clamp so it doesn't fall out. So we're gonna go ahead and do that as I continue to figure out how to remove that thing. All right, so actually on this this pipe here that's got the 90-degree bend, the clamp actually goes on this side over here where the 90-degree bend is at, and the actual fitting is gonna go on the straight end of it. As you can see, I do have all the hoses pretty much assembled, ready to go. I've got the straight one that goes from the catch can all the way down to the intake, which is there. The one that's got the 3 ends is coming from the outside part of the catch can. I do have the blue fitting on the left end of it and the aluminum 90-degree fitting on the middle part of it. This part is going to, again, go in here once we're able to remove this black line. And then the other hose that's got the 90-degree on one end is attached here. So we put the fitting here on this side. The straight end of it is right in there, and the 90 degrees over here on this side. Basically, when we remove this black line here, this aluminum fitting is actually going to take the place and slide into there. And then this part, this fitting here, is going to go right where I have that tape there. And this hose here with the 90 degree is going to connect to this end of the fitting. So that's how it's going to get set up. I still haven't figured out how to remove. Whoops. Dropped you guys there. Sorry about that. I still haven't figured out how to remove this. This is the final product. I'm all done. As you guys can see, we were able to remove the black line. You can see right there. So fitment wise, everything fit pretty good. The only issue I have is just I'm a little picky, and the way it sits over the engine just looks kind of funny to me, but everything fit just fine. The only issue I have after placing everything together is this hose right here is touching the valve cover. So I'm worried that it might get a little hot and start to kind of burn that up over time, but it is a pretty thick hose that they provide, so who knows. This one here, again, kind of sits over one of the coil packs there, which is kind of weird to me as well. But, I mean, it all fits just fine. So this is it, you guys. Everything is all put together. Everything is done. This is what it looks like here. So, again, as you can see, straight one goes down this way. You got the black fitment with the clear cap here. And then over here, you got the 90 degree with the straight end. The black fitting goes there. That one just gets pushed right in there until this hose is about here. And then you got the one with the 3 ends. So that's the finished product. We're gonna start the car, make sure everything is good, there's no leaks or anything like that, and then you're good to go. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for being patient with me while we try to remove that black line that was kind of stuck. And just to talk a little bit about that one, it did come off by me depressing on this gray tab, the bigger one. As you can see here, there's a few different tabs, but the bigger one there, I pushed down on that one pretty hard and just kind of yanked the hose out of there. It did break on me. It's not too big of a deal though, because we had to cut it from this end anyways so that we can actually attach that hose, but it all worked out, so we're good. So we'll go ahead and start the car. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. God bless.